So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Too Good to Be True podcast. I am your host Pascal Mayala. Game two is in the books, and I can tell you that OKC bounced back. OKC bounced back. Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers are no show. And what to expect for Game three for Indiana in Indiana for Game three of the NBA Final. But first, make sure to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, notify, leave your comment on my video, and go listen to the Too Good to Be True podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. So let's get right to it. So game two is in the book, like I said in my intro. Um, we had a pretty defensive game for OKC against Indiana. So for that, let's look at the stat first and between the two teams, and let's talk about it right now. So game two, let me say this: game two, I applaud the Coach Degnan, for changing the lineup because I wasn't so sure if game two, if Coach will keep the same or or change a little bit of the lineup. So he did change the lineup a little bit. I will say this, a little bit, but let's say this that game two it was a wake up call for OKC, and the way they wanted defensively, not offense, yeah, but defensively how they wanted. And SGA, let me tell you this: I grew up in Canada, and I always want to see the growth of basketball in Canada. And I see this young superstar coming up in Canada, and I think Team Canada will be in trouble in the next couple of decades for the world, especially in the Olympics. But SGA, you cannot guard him. I mean, you cannot even guard SGA. I'll be honest with you. And game two proved it. So, and also that OKC, like I said, this is what we were expecting: a defensive minded, and the way they attack you on defense is unbelievable. Like I never seen it before. In the case for the Indiana Pacers, let's say this that they were a no show, especially Tyrese Haliburton, which a lot of people called him out and said that he needs to be aggressive. And I agree with people. I said this. I didn't even say this, but I'm gonna say it. He needs to be aggressive in the finals because 50 points, 12 points, it doesn't help. And you got another All Star as SGA who is averaging in game two, 34 points compared to Tyrese Haliburton, 17 points. This is not Shaq you're against with Tyrese, and this is not LeBron James you're going against, or Kevin Durant. This is SGA, Shea Gilgis Alexander, who's in the same position you play the same position. SGA is so aggressive compared to you, and I think he was pretty much humble. Once again, he did it again in game one, people. So to me, Tyrese needs to be aggressive. So let's go look at the stat right now. Um, let's go to Tyrese Haliburton, who got 17 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, shot with 7 and 13 at the field goal, 3 and 8 in the 3 point. Like I said a couple of seconds, he needs to be aggressive. Sorry, he needs to be aggressive next time in game three. Pascal Siakam, he disappointed me. 50 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Shot for 3 and 11 in the field goal, 1 and 4 in the 3 point. I was disappointed of him. Um, and I can't say about Naismith and Nembar because that's their role. They're gonna get 11 to 15 points, so I don't really much count that because they're role players. Miles Turner, 60 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, uh, no blocks. Shot for 6 and 12 in the field goal and 1 and 5 in the 3 points. In the bench, 2% stepped up. Benedict Mathurin, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, two steal. Shot for 1 7 in the field goal and 1 and 1. Actually, no, 5 and 4 in the field goal, 1 and 2 in the 3 point. T.J. McConnell, 11 points, shot for 5 and 7 in the field goal, 1 in the 3 points, and 3 rebounds and 6 assists. Compared to OKC, that SGA, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steal, 1 block, shot for 11 21 in the field goal, 1 and 4 in the 3 point. Jalen Williams, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, shot for 5 and 14 on the field goal, 1 and 5 in the 3 point. Chet Holmgren, I'm glad that I called him out because he showed up. He did show up in game 2. 50 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, shot for 6 and 11 on the field goal, 1 and 3 in the 3 points. And guess who in the bench who came up, who showed up? Alex Caruso, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 6 and 11 in the field goal, 4 and 8 in the 3 point. Before I continue, let's talk about SGA, how a game 2 win was very important in the series for him. So let's listen what he's got to say.
Is it fair to say, given the opponent and what happened late in game 1, that this was a desperate situation, a game you could not afford to lose?
Absolutely. It's clear as day. Like, same thing happened in the Denver series. It's hard to win a series losing both at home. It's just hard. You set yourself back so much, and we knew that going into the game. The trick is trying to manufacture that desperation when it's not organic.
That's well said.
Yeah. But yeah, we had one goal in mind tonight, and that was to get a W, and we did so.
The desperation that you spoke of, that was evident. But because you had gone through it with Denver, I wonder how much you were able just to remember, all right, damn near the same thing happened in that series, and we were able to come out on the other end of it. How do you make 48 hours productive? It's kind of a long wait. What does go into those moments of looking at film and being prepared for tonight and coming out with the aggression that we saw?
Yeah, I think the fire and the energy comes naturally. Now you just have to do a really good job of trying to stay in the moment and just figure out how to get better for the next game.
How about this building's ability? We just heard Rick Carlisle mention that this place is as advertised. This is the first time I've been here. He said he felt they took it to another level. Fair?
Yeah, absolutely. They do an amazing job, and every time it feels like it's the loudest it's ever been, they just keep going louder every game. But yeah, we besides the energy that comes so naturally in this building, especially in a desperate game, you just try to find a way to get better. And that's the main goal. Like, as long as you keep getting better through your experiences, you give yourself a chance.
Shea, you've spent so much time throughout this postseason playing not just from ahead, but comfortably ahead. But given the team you're playing and the capacity to come back that they've demonstrated over and over again, is there any point in this second half where the number is high enough that you feel like, all right, we're probably okay tonight?
No. Probably when it was like 15 with a minute left. This late in the season, like, you don't want to take anything for granted. Now, obviously, they have the track record of doing some miraculous things late game. And we learned that firsthand last game. So those moments, we kind of don't even give ourselves a chance to think that.
Understood.
With the goal in mind and the team that we're playing against, they're a really good basketball team. You don't make it this far without being a really good basketball team, and we know that. And we learned that the hard way game one.
So you heard what SGA said. They learned their lesson from game one, which is true. That's what I said about the playoff. The playoff is probably the learning lesson from an up and coming team, or not just an up and coming team, an experienced team who been there in the finals, done that, learned every step from the NBA finals, and I can tell you,
I don't believe that we can manufacture.
I can tell you that. I'm sorry, I just wanna.
I don't believe that we can manufacture.
Sorry for that. Like I said, not just the youngster, the team that has been to the NBA finals multiple times, like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaq. Every game is a valuable lesson. That's why when I said that the NBA final, this NBA final is going to be very important, and that's what I mean. I mean it's a learning process because you can go against a bad team who made it to the NBA final, but they're tough. They're a tough team, but even though they got swept, it also the crucial learning lesson because those teams don't come often winning a game. So for that, and kudos to SGA what he said about how game two is very important. Now let's go to the Indiana Pacers a little bit. When I called out Tyrese Haliburton, and I think that a lot of media and a lot of podcasters called out Tyrese Haliburton because his lack aggressiveness in game two, but even in game one he wasn't that aggressive. So I had in my mind discussing this in my mind, and I said to myself, if Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar, because I hate that debate, and I say yes, he is a superstar, regardless how many points you score. Somebody can score 50 points, but he can still affect the game because you will be scared. Steve Nash, I think Steve Nash is a superstar because yes, Amari Stoudemire was like the number one option, but when Amari played without Steve Nash, before Steve Nash came to Phoenix, that team was that team sucked. Him and Shawn Marion. When Steve Nash came, now the whole thing has changed. That has changed around the Phoenix Sun organization, and he affected the game. That he made Amari Stoudemire better. He made Shawn Marion better. Joe Johnson better. Even Quinn Richardson better. Raja Bell. And I said this multiple times. Yes, you talk about the stat. Yes, about that. But it's also it impacted the effect of the game. How the opponent team fear you when you know you can I said perform, but yes, you can perform at a very high best. So that's why I said Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar. But also, we have to recognize that Tyrese Haliburton uh, wasn't aggressive enough, and the stats proved it when I said about the 17 point. When I realized the 17 points, um, 17 points of Tyrese Haliburton, and shots for 13 on the field goal. And I hate to do the plus minus thing, but he was -5, which was pretty bad to me, in my opinion. But it's not. It wasn't just Tyrese Haliburton. Pascal Siakam too. I'm calling you out too because 50 point is not enough. 50 point is not enough. Also, the bench showed up. T.J. McConnell, Benedict showed up, but Obi Toppin did not showed up. Who else did not showed up? Ben Shepard did not showed up. Andrew Nembar did not show. Oh, and you know he's a role player, 11 point, but he did not show up. I mean, Aaron Naismith, 14 points. He did not show up, and that's going to be a problem if they continue playing like that. So game three has to be very important. Now I want to share team stat. Then I'll go back to talk about OKC. Um, OKC.
I
Um,
don't believe that we can manufacture.
sorry, I'm gonna share with you guys with the team stat um, between the two team right now. So compared to game one, game two, I would say with this that OKC in the field goal, 48% compared to the Indiana Pacers 45%. And the 3 point, um, OKC showed up again 38%. Actually, I would say 39% over uh, Indiana Pacers 35%. Now, if you look at the offensive rebound, the the OKC took the advantage. Same thing with the defensive rebound. Still, OKC, and it's still 10/9, 9 still. The blocks, yeah, 6 or 4 for the Indiana Pacers. But if you look at the turnovers, and I think turnover is going to be a factor. Um, 17/14 in the total of turnovers or OKC. That means that during those time, and you can look over there on my left a little bit, that 14, 14 turnover, pace of 15. I mean, they're like neck and neck a little bit, but especially the offense, how OKC just went to 17 turnover and made it into the basket compared to Indiana. So to me, I think that's what I said about how OKC defense is played, and I had to use the word hoodwink, but he got hoodwinked. The Pacers got hoodwinked, and I hope it doesn't happen in game three. Now let's listen to the unsung hero, which I did not, and I did not prepare this. The unsung hero, uh, uh, Aaron Wiggins talks about how important game two was for him. So let's listen to this. A little bit. Damn it. Hold on. The technical. There's a technical issue. Wait, hold on. Then I want to. Actually, let's see. So Tyrese Haliburton for then. I'll put.
Sure. I mean, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I felt like I was a little jittery in the first quarter, getting off the ball quick, flying off ball screens with no real setup. I felt that myself, so I'll admit that I felt that way. So I'm sure other guys felt that way. I mean, this crowd is amazing. They're all standing up, doing claps and synchronized clapping to the beat before the game. I mean, this is an unbelievable crowd. It's the best crowd we've seen on the road all playoffs. And, I mean, it felt like it was just us in there, I mean, thankful for our organization for flying, our families out, and our full time employees all got a chance to come. And I've been shown videos of them in the concourse, and I saw them on the upper level after the game. But out there, it's so loud in there. It really just feels like it's us in there, and we should do a great job of leaning on each other, understanding that this crowd and this environment is amazing. They love basketball here, similar to how it is in Indiana. And now that we've got a game under our belt, and I thought we did a great job of responding in the second half. We didn't turn the ball over as much in the second half. That's more of a recipe for success for us in the next game. So
Oh, sorry,
that's going to be a big point of emphasis, when we watch films. How can we take care of the ball more, get more shots on the rim, that puts us in a better.
Let me apologize because that was just game one. Uh, but like I said, that was game one when Tyrese Haliburton was talking about.
I
And
don't believe that we can manufacture desperation.
game two, I want to praise Aaron Wiggins because he the unsung hero of this series and how he was prepared because sometimes, like I said, I've said it multiple times that the bench, you never know, what the bench going to produce, and I will give kudos to Aaron Wiggins who got, by the way, 18 points, uh, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, shot for 6-11 in the field goal, 5 and 8 in the 3 point. So let's listen what Aaron Wiggins got to say, and then we're gonna listen also SGA how Aaron Wiggins pretty saved the game two for them.
His willingness to, create for other guys. Obviously, everybody sees the points and, how easy it may be for him to, go out there and get 30, 40 points. But when he's out there sharing the ball and getting other guys involved, that's when our team is, at our best. So, credit to him just going out there, playing the game, continuing to just, help us.
So you heard what he got to say about but let's listen what AGA got to say about how important Aaron Wiggins showed up in game two.
Yeah, it's impressive to me. Like,
Sorry, there's a little bug, but
he's been exactly who he's been all year throughout the playoffs. Like sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes he gets 2 minutes, sometimes he gets 10. Like, it's all over the place, and no matter what, he finds a way to impact winning for us. And you need it in the biggest moments. No one-man show when you're in an NBA championship. And for him to rise to the occasion and just be who he's been in the biggest moment of his basketball career is pretty gutsy. It says a lot about the competitor and the man he is. So that's off to Wade.
Yeah.
so you heard what uh, SJ said about Aaron Wiggins, and I can tell you that he's right. That's what I said. That's why I said your role player should show up and be very important in the series because you'll never know what's going to happen. So I just want to go clear for game three when it's going to start. So game three is going to be on Wednesday. Wednesday over there in the United States. So Thursday morning in France. So this is going to be a much win important for Indiana and OKC, both teams. So what I'll do my preview right now. What do I expect for um game three for both teams? Let's start with OKC because they won the game two. So for OKC, just play the same way what you did in in uh in game two, defensively, offensively. SGA gonna show up, gonna do his thing. The role players gonna do their thing, and I hope Lou Dort will do something on defensively because I know he didn't score 10 plus points. I didn't read the stat for Lou Dort, but I didn't read the stats for Lou Dort, but I didn't read the stat for Lou Dort. Who, by the way, he had like 3 point in game two, but his defense was more important. So Luke Dort will do his thing. Chet Holmgren should continue to be aggressive, to be felt in his presence. He has to be involved. Jane William also he needs to step up a little bit. With I think Jay William got like 19 points, it was pretty good. So I'm glad he stepped up like number two option. But also the bench, Alex Caruso, the veteran who been to the NBA Finals, gonna impact it to the bench. So that's pretty much amazing for OKC. We're going to game three. Now for the Pacers, Tyrese Haliburton, you need to be aggressive. You need to be aggressive in game three because 17 points is not enough. And in game one, you're like what? I think 19 points. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, game one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you had like 19 points. I believe so. If I'm not mistaken, he got like 19 points, something like that. No, 14 point. My bad. 14 point. 14 point in game one and 17 in game two. That's not enough. Especially in the first quarter, you just scoring like 5 points in each quarter. That's not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough for you, Tyrese Haliburton, to go over the hump because you see your like I said a couple of minutes ago, what your fellow point guard SG is trying to do. He's out averaging like 34 points. I don't know how many points he's averaging right now in the finals, but yes, in the finals, he's averaging 39 points, eight assists. He shot 63% in the 3 point, 55% in the field goal. SJ in the NBA finals. That's in the NBA finals. Compared to you, Tyrese Halliburton, you averaging like what? 11 points. 11 points in the series in 2 games. 11 points. 5 assists. That I'm fine with it. 36% in the field in the 3 point. That's not enough. 44%. That's not enough. 11 points as a point guard who SGA play the same position as you. That's not enough. That is not enough, Tyrese. That is not enough to show me that. And by the way, the overrated thing that was uncalled for. Anybody who say that or SG Tyrese Haliburton overrated, you need to check check yourself and look in the mirror. That guy is not overrated. He's underrated to me. But that Tyrese, show up, be aggressive in game three. Pascal Siakam, I need you to show up too in game three because you're averaging 60 point in both games, 2 assists, 50% of 3 point, 44% of the field goal. That's not enough, Pascal Siakam. That's not enough. And the rest of the crew of the Indiana Pacers, you guys need to show up because this is now game three is in your home court. You already lost home court advantage in game two. You need to protect your home court advantage. Actually, yeah, in game three. They need that. So Indiana Pacers, they need to be more aggressive. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast, and I hope everybody enjoyed my this podcast, NBA Final Recap for Game Two. Make sure to go follow me on social media at Belly versus PMM on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. Facebook, you can follow me on Facebook at Pascal Mayala. And also thread, you can follow me at Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15. And that being said, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.